Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be making this shift dress with blue top color. Okay, watch to the end, guys. So I started by marking my startup line. Then I took my bust point measurement, my waist measurement, my hip, and then the length of the dress. And then I added 1 inch allowance and drew a straight line. Okay, and those points I've marked. Then I took my neckline measurement, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches by 3 inches. And I joined the point and drew my neckline. So the remaining measurement I have is 20 inches. I came down by 1.5 to slant the shoulder. This is a cut together sleeve. So I came down by 1.5. Then on that point, I measured 10 inches for my sleeve opening. You can make it more than 10, depending on how wide you want the opening to be. Then on my waist, I took my bust measurement instead of my waist measurement and added 2 inches. Then my hip, I took my hip measurement and added 2 inches too. On the length, I took my hip measurement, but instead of adding 2 inches allowance, I added 3 inches. But you can actually add more than that because it's very free at the hem. Okay, so I connected the points together, and then I connected from the sleeve opening. You see how I'm doing it to meet the waist point. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You connect it. After that, I measured 2 inches from the center point, okay, center front, because it has a collar there, okay, a band. So I'm marking to 2 inches, which I'm going to cut off, okay, and use another fabric to replace it, okay. Cut a separate band to replace that 2 inches. So I'm marking the 2 inches from the center point of the dress, okay, and I drew a straight line joining the points. So do the same. So the opening I want for this front is 8 inches, okay. So I marked the 8 inches starting from my startup line. Then from that 8 inches I'm going to connect it to the neckline, okay. So you do it the same way I did, and then you cut it. The 8 inches is the point that the opening is going to stop. Okay, if you want yours to be 7, you can use 7 inches depending on how low you want the opening to be. So, but for me, I used 8 here. You can use 7 to avoid it being too open. You also cut the slanted. As you are cutting everything, you also cut the slanted shoulder. Just follow the line and cut it following the line. After cutting it, I brought out another paper for the band. Okay, this band now I'm going to measure 2.5 inch. Okay, so that 2.5 inch is actually 2 inches. After sewing it on the fabric, it's going to be 2 inches band, but I'm going to mark 2.5 because half inch is what I'm going to use and sew it on the main dress. Okay, so I'm marking at 2.5 inch. When I'm done sewing, the band will now be 2 inches. So I join the points. Remember, you're still going to cut your back. with the same measurement for the front. The only difference is that you're not going to cut out any center back. The back will just be complete. You're not cut because you're not adding band at the back. So the back is not going to have any band. It's just your measurements and you cut it. Okay. And then the neckline will be 3 by 1 inch for the back. So for this band now that you have cut off, so when you have joined your front and back, you notch your center back. Okay, the center back, you notch it and measure from your center back to this 8 inches I took for the front. Okay, also notch your band. You're going to notch it so that you know where the center back, we are going to start to join at the center back. Okay, so from the center back, that 8 inches you measured, from the center back to that 8 inches, you know what it is. Okay, from the center back to that 8 inches, for me, I actually got 12 inches. Okay, that means from the center back to that 8 inches is 12. Okay, it's 12 inches. So you fold the band into two, just the same way I'm doing now. You fold it into two, then mark the 12 inches. Mark the 12 inches, meaning that's where the opening is going to be. And from that 12 inches you marked, every other place is going to be closed. Remember, the band is going to be very long, longer than the length of the dress, just maybe 2 inches longer, so that even if there is shortage, it will remain small. Okay. So you start from that point after the 12 inches to sew it to the length of the band. Okay. You sew it down. That's how you are going to close every other place except from that 12 inches. So when you sew it down, the only place that will now be open is from the center back to the 8 inches that will be open at the front. I don't know if you understand. So you turn it, when you turn the band, the other places will now be closed except the place that you did not sew. Okay, so when you turn the band, it's going to be like this. Are you seeing how it is now? Every other place will be closed and this place is going to be open. So you now attach from the center back, you now sew from the center back to the length of the dress, and then from the other center back to the length of the dress. That's how you're going to sew it, and it's going to be very neat. It's going to come out very neat because you're not like sewing on the dress, you like sewed at the back of the band which you turned up. So the front is going to be very neat. You're not sewing on the front. There's nothing like seeing a thread on the front because it's like you turned it up. Okay, so it's going to be very neat. And that will be all for this tutorial, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe.